What I like about Pleasant Tap is that he's been there ever since he was a 2-year-old. He keeps showing up, and Chris Speckert has him on really the top of his game because in his last 6 starts, 3 wins, 3 seconds. He didn't used to be that consistent. I like him too. And to ride another horse, Chris McCarron picked up the mount. So it's a horse game, it's a jockey game, a jockey agent game.
And boys, the Chinese food is on us tonight. Mr. Kenny and I have split the pick 6 today at Belmont Park. Congratulations, friend.
Bob, I owe it all to you. Now, where's the ticket?
Let's get the egg rolls. Let's go to Gail Gardner.
Let's start off by checking in with our handicapping expert, Dan Kenny. Dan?
Thanks, Tom. It's great to be with you again. And as, of course, you remember back at Belmont 3 weeks ago, we did get lucky and hit 6 winners in the Breeders' Cup preview. But that looks easy. That 6 was a lot easier than this Breeders' Cup 7. 7 virtually full fields of the best horses in the world, a handicapper's challenge. Some of the horses drew good inside post positions that'll make them hard to beat. Some other challengers, very challenging outside positions that require their very best to get the money in this Breeders' Cup. So, Tom, back to you. And Stronach appeared pleased after a successful day of international racing, awarding the trophy to Swiss jockey Jean-Michel Brault. Well, Frank Stronach has 140 horses in training worldwide, but he's here today focused on 2, North Face and Handsome Hansel. And right off the top, Frank, which of the 2 do you think has the best chance?
Well, I would assume North Face.
Now, you happened to be in Europe when he won the trial, so you didn't get to see it, but he set sizzling fractions. Will there be any change of plan today, or will he go on the lead once again?
Well, hopefully he's going to set sizzling fractions today, too.
And go all the way. Well, there he is.
So.
He certainly looks a picture. He's by a fine American stallion in time for a change. Now, you bred him. Any particular reason why you chose that stallion?
Well, I always was fond of Time for a Change. You know, he was a good racehorse, a great stallion, and he could go the distance.
And out of your great mare, Honolulu Honey, so he should definitely go the distance.
Well,
we've also got some tape here of Handsome Hansel. Of course, he's got a blue-blooded pedigree. He's by Hansel, who won the Preakness. He's out of a mare by the Minster, who won the English Derby.
Yeah, the mare's a half-sister to an English Derby winner, to Secreta, so it's excellent breeding.
Well, we know the blood is there, Frank, and I guess with a little bit of luck, you might bag your 2nd Queen's Plate. Best of luck. Thanks for being with us.
I think it's all written in the stars, so thank you, Dan.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Now, speaking of Queen's Plates, we're used to seeing this man, David Wilmot, somewhat nervous with the blue and white King Haven Silks about to perform. The horse isn't here, but this man has taken an additional role in Canadian racing as the chairman and president of the Ontario Jockey Club. And David, a few weeks ago, we were being boiled in oil while the Breeders' Cup controversy took place. That's in the past, but there's many fun. Beautiful architecture and fine thoroughbreds can be found in many European capitals, but visitors are often surprised to find such delight in the ancient city of Moscow. Tsar Nicholas I built the stunning Moscow Hippodrome in 1834, and horses have raced here ever since, despite the turbulent history of modern Russia. A city of 9 million now surrounds the track, but the neighborhood retains its unique status as the headquarters of Soviet racing. You get to the races in Moscow just like you do back home at Aqueduct or Arlington. Take the subway to Begovaja Station. That means the races. And once inside, the scene looks familiar as players get down to business picking a winner. Later on, we'll see top Soviet jockeys in international competition. But now, for the first time on North American television, it's the Sport of Kings in the land of the Tsars. Hello, everyone. It's Derby Day in Moscow, and I'm Dan Kenny, and I'll be your host as we try to make sense of one of the great days of racing in the Soviet Union. Actually, it's Derby Day. Racing has been held continuously here in the Moscow Hippodrome since the 1830s. They've survived war, they've survived revolution, they've survived the ravages of history. These Russian people enjoy racing very, very much, and today is the big day. And helping me to explain it to you, joining me is Dr. Michael Alexiev, who is a veterinarian, a research scientist, and also an official of the Moscow Hippodrome. And Dr. Alexiev, thank you very much for having us here. And would you please explain the purpose of racing and breeding thoroughbreds in the Soviet Union?
The main purpose of racing thoroughbreds in the Soviet Union is to select the best horses, which will become the sires and dams back at the breeding farms. That's why we don't race geldings.
So I think we've got a gentleman here who understands the business from all sides, and I can't think of a better person to lead our discussion this morning. Dan?
Wendy, thank you very much for the invitation to come, and it's certainly a pleasure to be associated with such a Group 1 panel of experts from all around the country and in every aspect of the game. And I think that title that we're meant to deal with, gentlemen, of course, is impossible, but we have to try anyhow. The subtext of it, analyze the factors that would contribute to full and competitive fields on a daily basis. Believe me, if we get very far with that, there's a Nobel Prize in it for one of you guys.
Let's go down to Dan Kenny now for the trophy presentation.
Well, Tom, joining us here in this animated Winner's Circle conversation is horse owner and entertainment mogul Merv Griffin. He's going to make a presentation to his old friend Alan Paulson and his wife Madeline.
Well, Alan, there it is. Congratulations to you. And it was kind of a prediction, wasn't it?
Well, we were quite certain on this horse. She showed us everything. And I hear she set the record here.
She did, and I understand you called her the female Arazi. Looks like you were right.
She's a super horse.
Well, now we'll wait for Arazi himself. Congratulations, and we may see you right here again.
Well, I got one in this race and the next race, too. Then Madeline has one, and they...
You know, Paradise...
Okay, we have to cut it short because another couple of your friends are standing by, Trevor Denman and Pat Valenzuela. To be continued. And Wayne, I just want to start it off. Out there on the West Coast, outside your stable, you'll see a big green and white van. The Wayne Lucas stable, you'll see a big trailer with the equipment. When are we going to see the D. Wayne Lucas Brinks truck? You're now about $10 million this year alone.
Well, we got so much overhead, we have to run in the Breeders' Cup every year just to keep ahead of it. But we're thrilled. I mean, gosh, these are tough.
And you're one of the pioneers of Florida breeding, as was Fred Hooper. This made the 4th Florida bred in a row to win today.
Yeah, Florida against the world.
You had a quote that said that one of the reasons that you were an integral part of the Breeders' Cup is that you're not from Kentucky.
That is not necessarily right. I didn't say that. What I say is that someone has to be in there that has no axe to grind. And I'm old and I'm stubborn and I'm rich. And I was the only one in there that would try to pull it together and didn't care if I made any money or not. Because racing, I come from a groom at $60 a month to what I am today, and a lot of people have quite a lot of respect for me today. And so I owe racing something for my son and grandson.